training, since we don't have, we're not really having a lot of new students enrolling right now, it's not feasible. There may be some watching online. Welcome, glad you're here. But since most of you have seen this first section before, what we thought would be helpful is to talk about running the first section while thinking about the 10 important points. Yang Cheng Fu's 10 important points are sort of a guide map. So imagine Yang Cheng Fu, who's the founder of the style of Tai Chi that you're learning. He went on trips to kind of help spread the discipline of Tai Chi, and his students, like us, the instructors left behind, were sort of like, got any tips? Like what should we tell people to work on? And he's like, get a pen. And that's how the 10 important points were created. So I'm going to talk about each one, and then we're going to try to incorporate one as we run the first section. So the first one, and do we have this book? No, I don't know. This book, no, we do have this book. We do. Principles and Practice. We do have it in stock. It's the same gentleman who wrote the Book of Mei Kung. His translations are outstanding. So some of the more advanced textbooks, the translations are pretty dicey, and they talk about some really weird stuff that if you're not familiar with Tai Chi, you'd be like, this is weird, I'm not doing this. This book is excellent. It's called Tai Chi Principles and Practice, and it's exactly that. So his translation of the notes for the 10 important points are outstanding. So that's what I'm reading from today. So the first important point, and they go in order of importance, like head suspended is the first one. So if there's nothing else you think about while doing Tai Chi, if you think about head suspended, you're going to get really good mileage out of your training. So I'm going to talk about head suspended, according to Yang Cheng Fu. Light and swift with the head as though suspended from above. Okay? Light and swift to me are the active words here, because you can head suspend and be super stiff. I feel stiff in my shoulders, and it feels rigid. It's very swift and light. Commentary for this. With the head as though suspended from above means the head should be vertical and straight, so the spirit, your Shen, will go all the way to the top of the head. Do not use strength, so don't force your head up there. If you use strength, then you will be stiff and the blood and chi will not circulate well. So think about that, like, if you get blood tests and they put a tourniquet on you and they make you strengthen, your blood's not flowing, it's pooling, right? So by relaxing, you're trying to get all your nerves, your chi, your blood, your air, your oxygen, everything just flowing freely. The blood and chi will not circulate well. Have the idea of lightness and swiftness and naturalness. If you do not have lightness and swiftness and the head as though suspended from above, then your spirit will not be able to be lifted up. That's all he has to say about that, but think about that. If you're having a bad day or you're upset about something and you're down here, all your energy is here. It's not lifted, right? So it's the same principle here. So it's a natural opening and a lifting in a natural, non-stiff way. And imagine that there's like a string holding you up, but not pulling you. It's just holding you up, encouraging you to think about the crown of your head engaged in gravity. Okay? So I'm going to put this down, and let's do the first section of the form, thinking about nothing except head suspended. Don't worry about where your feet go. Don't worry about where your hands go. Don't worry about, any of the other stuff. Just think head suspended, and hopefully by thinking head suspended, you will also experience some relaxation with it, okay? So let's do it at least once, the whole first section. If you do not know the first section, this is a great opportunity to just follow along and kind of get it mapped out. Follow the feet as best you can. Don't worry about the hands. This is not a test, so it's a nice chunk to practice while thinking of an important point. All right. So with that, head suspended. Begin. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back, press, and push. Single whip. Lift hands. Strike with shoulder. White crane spreads wings. Brush knee push, 1. Playing guitar, 1. Brush knee push, 2. Brush knee push, 3. Brush knee push, 4. Playing guitar, 2. Brush knee push, 5. Step forward, deflect downward. Intercept and punch. Withdraw and push. Cross hands. Feet together. Release. Normally, if there's people here, we take a second to say, how was that? How did that feel? Did you have anything to add based on what you experienced? You can send us that. We would love that. So send us a note, an email, message, text, however, and let us know if you got anything or felt anything different. Running your form thinking about head suspended. We have a couple minutes. I want to do that one more time. I'm not going to say any names this time. Just follow along as best you can. It probably feels a little slower to you than you would otherwise experience in class. Just hang with it as best you can. I'm not going to talk about the breathing rhythm. We might as the rotation goes on, but just breathe as you need, and don't get frustrated if it's moving slower than you're used to. Okay? Begin. we have for the access training today. New life skill. Dragon, we're doing dragon this rotation, which is creative spirit. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit knows no self-doubt. Okay, I'm going to show it to you with my back to you because it's got a circling arm thing, and that's just going to get super messed up if I show it to you first, facing you, okay? So, path of self-mastery. Path of self-mastery requires a focused mind, creative spirit. A creative spirit, so right hand goes up, left hand goes down. Creative spirit knows no self-doubt. They're going to switch places, basically. I'm going to step back, sweep, pull back, and push. Left hand on top, right hand out. And that's the knows no self-doubt. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit, so right hand up, left hand down. Circle, so they switch places. Step back with the right, pull back. And then shift to the front leg, knows no self-doubt. If you're intermediate advanced, you will basically end in a Fair Lady work shuttles from the third section. One more time. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit, right hand up, left hand down. Circle so they switch places. Step back with the right, pull down. Shift forward, left hand up, right palm out. Knows no self-doubt. I'm going to do it one more time without words, just so it's kind of put together. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit knows no self-doubt. Okay, we'll keep working on that. But hopefully that gave you a running start. With that, let's bow out of full access training. Full access training is dismissed. Good job, everybody.